Listen carefully. If you thought what I told you before was terrifying, you have no idea what's coming next. Because from that night onward, my life stopped being my own. The house, the shadows, the voice in the dark, they all grew louder, stronger, and more real. I need you to imagine this with me. Every single sound in the house turned into a threat. The creak of a floorboard, the faint whistle of the wind through a broken window, even the hum of the fridge. They weren't just sounds anymore. They were signals, warnings, signs that something was moving closer. At first, I thought maybe I was losing my mind. Maybe it was stress or lack of sleep. But then I realized it wasn't just me. The presence takes hold. One night, my phone buzzed. A message popped up from an unknown number. It said, "I see you." No name, no contact picture, just those 3 words. I froze. My stomach dropped. Because the thing is, I was alone in my room, but the curtains were drawn, the lights were off, and I had told no one I was home. Nobody should have known. And then another message came. Don't turn around. You know what it's like when your skin crawls? When every single nerve in your body screams at you that something is wrong? That's what I felt. And of course, I turned. There, standing in the farthest corner of my room, was the silhouette. Taller than any man should be. Shoulders too wide, head tilted unnaturally. It didn't move, didn't breathe, it just stood there. I blinked, and it was gone. But the phone buzzed again. Told you not to. Escalation. From that moment, I couldn't escape it. Every mirror in the house started showing me things that weren't there. Sometimes my reflection smiled when I didn't. Sometimes there were shapes moving behind me in the glass, even though the room was empty. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. My friends noticed, but what could I tell them? Hey, I'm being haunted by something I can't explain. They'd think I was crazy. But then it started touching reality. One night, my best friend came over. He was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone, when he froze. His face went pale, and he whispered, "Who's that behind you?" There was no one there. But the look in his eyes told me he wasn't joking. He left that night and never came back. He won't answer my calls anymore. That's when I knew this thing wasn't just in my head. The whispers began soon after. At first, they were faint, just at the edge of hearing, like someone mumbling in another room. But the words grew clearer over time. Leave. Mine. Stay forever. They came from the walls, from the vents, even from inside the drains. And the worst part? Sometimes they used my own voice. One night, lying in bed, I heard my voice, my exact voice, whisper, "You can't escape." Do you know what it feels like to hear yourself talking when you're not? It's not just fear, it's violation. It's like your own identity is being stolen piece by piece. Breaking point. I tried to fight back. I did research, looked up everything. Demons, spirits, sleep paralysis, psychosis. I bought sage, salt, holy water, even called a priest. None of it worked. In fact, the more I fought, the stronger it became. Lights flickered constantly.
Doors slammed shut behind me. I'd wake up with scratches across my arms, my chest, even my face. Deep ones, too deep. You think it ends when you leave the house? You think the nightmare stays behind those walls? That's the trap. That's the lie. Once it chooses you, you belong to it. The hotel. The night I checked into that hotel, I thought I'd outsmarted it. I thought, this thing is tied to the house. If I get far enough away, it can't reach me. Naive. Stupid. Because at 3 a.m., when the phone rang, I answered, and the voice that whispered, low, guttural, inhuman, made me realize the truth. You're mine, no matter where you go. And then the closet door creaked open. My blood ran cold. My heart slammed against my ribs. Slowly, I turned my head toward the sound. Darkness, pure, suffocating black. And then two pale hands reached out, long, bony fingers curling around the frame of the closet door. It stepped out, taller than the doorway itself, its head bent sideways to fit through. No face, no features, just a smooth void where eyes should be. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. It leaned close, so close I could feel the icy breath sliding against my ear. Told you not to run. The lights exploded. The room plunged into pitch black. When they flickered back on, it was gone. But on the mirror above the dresser, written in long dripping streaks, like blood or tar, was a single word. Stay. Back home. I didn't stay at the hotel. I couldn't. I checked out before sunrise, shaking, sweating, barely able to breathe. And against every ounce of logic, I drove back to the house. Why? Because at least there I understood the rules. At least there I knew where it was hiding. Out here, in the world, it could be anywhere. The house greeted me like it was alive. The moment I stepped through the door, every light flickered in unison. The air grew heavy, suffocating, pressing down on my chest. And in the silence, I heard it. My own voice. Welcome back. The diary. I knew I couldn't keep living like this. I needed answers. So I went digging. In the attic, under piles of old boxes, I found something strange. A leather-bound journal. Cracked, worn, pages yellow with age. It wasn't mine, wasn't my parents', but it belonged to someone. The first page had a name, Eleanor Marsh, 1924. As I read, my stomach turned. It wasn't a normal diary. It was a record of things. She wrote about the house, about shadows moving where they shouldn't, about voices whispering from the walls, about being touched in her sleep. The further I read, the more familiar it sounded because she was describing exactly what was happening to me. Every page ended the same way. It watches. It waits. It takes. The final entry stopped mid-sentence, just 3 words. It found me. And then nothing. The history. I started researching. Old newspaper archives, town records, anything I could find. And what I found made me sick. Over the decades, every single person who lived in that house either disappeared, went insane, or died mysteriously. Families torn apart, children vanishing in the night, men found hanging in the attic, women drowned in bathtubs with no water. Every story the same. Shadows, whispers, closets opening on their own. And every police report, every article ended with the same conclusion. Unsolved. The house was cursed, marked, claimed. And now, it was me. The possession. It didn't just haunt me anymore. It started using me. I'd wake up in places I didn't remember going, standing in the yard at 4 a.m. barefoot, staring at the trees. I'd find words carved into the walls, my handwriting, but messages I didn't remember writing. He is coming. You belong. Open the door. Worst of all, I'd lose hours, whole chunks of time gone. I'd blink, and suddenly the clock had jumped forward. And sometimes when I looked in the mirror, I wasn't alone. There'd be a shadow standing behind me, sometimes smiling, sometimes whispering, sometimes just watching. And when I turned around, nothing. But my reflection would still be smiling. The visitors. One night my mom came to check on me. She'd been worried, said I wasn't answering her calls. When she stepped inside the house, she froze. She swore she heard a man whisper her name. She swore she saw a figure standing at the top of the stairs. She begged me to leave with her, to never come back. But I couldn't. Not because I didn't want to, but because the thing wouldn't let me. When I tried to step outside, the door slammed shut, the locks twisted on their own, the windows shattered, and a voice growled from the walls, "Mine!" My mom ran. She never came back. The final night. I don't remember everything. The memories come in flashes, broken pieces, but I'll tell you what I do remember. It was 3 a.m. The air was colder than ever. Frost spread across the windows. Every light flickered in a steady rhythm, like a heartbeat. And then silence. Utter, suffocating silence, until the closet door creaked open. It stepped out, taller, stronger, solid, not a shadow anymore, flesh, pale, gray, rotting flesh. It reached for me. I tried to run, but my body didn't move. I was paralyzed. Its hand pressed against my chest, cold, burning, and then it pushed. Not backward, not forward, but through the floor, through the walls, through the world itself. I fell, darkness swallowing me whole. The other side. I woke up somewhere else. Not the house, not the world. A place of endless corridors, twisting, shifting, lined with doors that led to nowhere. Every door I opened showed me something worse. People screaming, faces melting, shadows pulling bodies into black pits. And always, in every reflection, in every shadow, I saw it, watching, smiling. I ran for what felt like days. No food, no sleep, no escape, just running. Until I found one door that looked familiar. My bedroom door. I grabbed the handle, opened it, and woke up in my bed. Now, you think that's the end? You think I escaped? No, I brought it back with me. It's in me now. I see it in the corner of my vision. I hear it whispering when I try to sleep. And sometimes, I feel my hands moving when I don't tell them to, writing words, drawing symbols. I don't know how long I have left before it takes me completely. But I know one thing. This isn't just a story. It's a warning. Because once you've heard its name, it knows you too.